Have you ever pondered how aging transforms not just our bodies, but our entire outlook on life? As we grow older, we often face hard truths that force us to re-examine the comforting beliefs we held in our youth. In today's video, we're diving into 7 crucial insights for navigating the challenges and joys of later life. Truths that might help you reclaim your dignity, happiness, and peace. Why should you watch until the end? These are designed to empower you, help you navigate complex family dynamics, strengthen meaningful relationships, and ensure your final years are filled with fulfillment, respect, and joy. You'll learn how to protect yourself from those who may take advantage of your kindness, how to let go of old regrets, and how to live authentically on your terms. So, if you're ready to embrace the wisdom and freedom that come with age, join us as we uncover these powerful life lessons. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. The first tip is to be sure to trust everyone who approaches you. At first glance, this might seem like simple, common-sense advice, but as we age, its significance deepens considerably. With time, the experience of loneliness can become an unwelcome but constant companion. The desire for meaningful connections becomes even more pronounced, and we long for people who can bring light, warmth, and companionship into our lives. Ironically, it is this very longing that can leave us vulnerable to manipulation. The yearning to be understood and accepted can sometimes cloud our judgment, making us more open to individuals whose intentions may not be as pure as they seem. As we grow older, we may become softer in some ways, more empathetic, and eager to believe the best in others. While this is a beautiful quality, it also comes with a risk. Some can sense this kindness and vulnerability, people who know exactly how to take advantage of it. They are skilled in manipulating emotions, recognizing when we are at our most fragile, and subtly twisting our feelings for their benefit. They are aware of how to present themselves as a comforting presence during times of hardship, only to disappear when things are going well again, leaving us feeling used and emotionally drained. Perhaps you've observed this pattern in your own life. Someone who only seems to be around when you're struggling, when you're feeling isolated or vulnerable. They appear with open arms, offering words of comfort and support, but when you reflect, you might realize they vanish as soon as you're back on your feet. It's almost as if they thrive on your vulnerability, feeding off your need for companionship when you're feeling low or uncertain. The sad truth is that sometimes, these individuals are not there to give, they are there to take. There is a unique kind of pain in realizing that not everyone in your life truly values you for who you are. Instead, they may only value what they can extract from you. Be it emotional support, financial help, favors, or the satisfaction of knowing they have some level of control over your life. This kind of relationship leaves you feeling depleted and unappreciated, as if your kindness is being exploited rather than cherished. Have you ever noticed how certain people seem to appear at the most convenient times, often when they stand to benefit from your vulnerability? Maybe it's a family member who comes to you with a request for money when they sense you're in a generous mood, or a friend who subtly pressures you into helping them when they know you're too kind to refuse. These behaviors may seem innocent at first, but they can leave you questioning the true motives behind the requests. This isn't a call to live in a constant state of suspicion, nor is it an encouragement to shut yourself off from the possibility of new, genuine connections. Rather, it is a reminder to practice discernment and mindfulness in your interactions. We all deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift us, not drain us, and that means being more selective about who we allow into our inner circle. Learning to trust wisely requires careful observation. It means listening to your instincts, noticing the patterns in people's behavior, and being attuned to red flags that might indicate someone is not as genuine as they appear. It's about having the courage to say no when something doesn't feel right, setting clear boundaries to protect your emotional and mental well-being, and ensuring that the time and energy you invest in relationships is not being taken for granted. As we age, guarding our peace becomes even more essential. We can't afford to be surrounded by people who exploit our kindness or take advantage of our vulnerabilities. Instead, we must protect the things that matter most: our sense of stability, our self-respect, and our overall peace of mind. We owe it to ourselves to spend our remaining years in the company of those who genuinely care for us, not for what they can get from us, but for who we are. Imagine, for a moment, looking back on your later years with a sense of peace and contentment, rather than regret or disappointment. Wouldn't you prefer to have fewer, but truer friends? People who stand by you not because they need something from you, but because they truly care about you and want to share in your life. The key lies in learning to trust and to trust wisely. It's about developing the ability to question motives without falling into cynicism or completely shutting yourself off from the world. It's perfectly okay to take your time to observe how people act, to see if their words align with their actions over the long term. True friends, true connections, will understand and respect your boundaries. Those who don't, well, they probably didn't have your best interests at heart in the first place. As you navigate the years ahead, remember that it's not the quantity of connections that matters, but the quality. Trust, yes, but trust with care. Question motives, notice patterns, and fiercely protect your peace. When you do this, you will be creating a life filled with relationships that enrich you, rather than depleting you. And that is a gift you give not only to yourself but also to the true friends and family who love and value you for exactly who you are. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The second tip is to stop living to please others, especially your family. I understand that this advice might seem incredibly difficult to accept, and for many of us, it can feel almost impossible to consider. The idea of stepping away from years, maybe even decades, of living in service to the happiness and expectations of others can feel uncomfortable, almost harsh, to acknowledge, let alone act upon. But the reality is this: so many of us, especially as we get older, spend our lives bending ourselves into shapes that fit the wishes and expectations of those around us, our children, grandchildren, spouses, and sometimes even extended family members. We dedicate ourselves tirelessly, often without question, to ensuring the happiness and well-being of others, believing that this selfless devotion is the purest form of love. It becomes second nature to us. It's almost as if we've been trained to prioritize others above ourselves. But here's the painful truth. When we prioritize others consistently, year after year, at the expense of our own needs, it no longer feels like love, it feels like a prison. The more we sacrifice our happiness, the more we feel like a shadow of ourselves. Think about it for a moment. When you reach this stage in life, should it not finally be your time to rest, nurture your own needs and desires, to focus on the dreams you once set aside for the sake of others? Yet, so often, it feels like the opposite is happening. The pressure to meet the expectations of others only grows heavier, like an unseen weight that presses down on us more and more as time goes by. It's a burden that we silently bear, convinced that it's our duty, our obligation to keep giving and sacrificing, even as we feel more and more depleted. These expectations, whether they're from children, partners, or others in your family, are often unspoken. They're assumed, and felt deeply but never explicitly voiced. And yet, they can be some of the most powerful forces in our lives. But here's the big question. Who gave anyone the right to expect that you'll always be there, endlessly sacrificing your happiness to meet their needs? Why is it that your well-being seems to be an afterthought in the equation? Have you ever truly stopped to ask yourself why, after everything you've done, there's still this nagging sense that something is missing? That deep, insistent feeling of emptiness that won't go away? After decades of pouring your heart into others, of giving your time, energy, finances, and even your health to ensure the happiness of those you love, why does the aching need for fulfillment remain? It's because, no matter how much you give, there will always be more that people want from you. As you pour out your time, money, energy, and even your health to ensure their happiness, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, who is looking out for me? Have you ever let yourself wonder what it would feel like to, for once, put your happiness first? Some family members may not even realize the extent of what they're asking from you. They may come to depend on you, emotionally, practically, or even financially, without considering just how much they are asking of you. They may take, without even thinking, always expecting you to be there, always expecting you to sacrifice for them, and without realizing the toll it's taking on your well-being. But here's the thing. This stage of life should be about reclaiming yourself. It should be about permitting yourself to finally pursue your dreams and passions, the things you had to set aside for the sake of others or for the obligations that life placed upon you. This is the time when you should feel free to embrace the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. And there is no shame in that. There is no reason to feel guilty for choosing to focus on yourself for once. Breaking free from these deeply ingrained expectations and obligations is not selfish. It's a form of self-preservation. It's about reclaiming your right to live with happiness and peace. If the people around you truly love you, they will understand. They will want you to take this time for yourself, to finally experience the freedom you have worked so hard for. And if they don't understand, well, that's something they will need to work through on their own. You have given more than enough. You have done your part. You have loved and sacrificed deeply. Now, it is your turn to experience the kind of happiness you deserve, without guilt. You deserve, more than ever, to live without the heavy weight of others' expectations hanging over you. This is your time to reclaim the life you deserve, to live in joy, peace, and freedom, unburdened by the constant pressure to meet the needs of others. This is your moment to let go of the guilt and the obligation, and to finally embrace the reality that your happiness matters just as much as anyone else's. For the sake of family loyalty and our own mental and emotional health, this dilemma can feel like an impossible situation. The weight of guilt, obligation, and societal expectations can feel overwhelming. When we're younger, we might tolerate mistreatment, put up with emotional manipulations, or endure disrespect because we believe there's always time to change things, time to heal old wounds, or time to shift dynamics. But as we get older, we come to a painful realization. Time is not infinite. It's precious, and it's slipping away. How often have you endured hurtful words, manipulative games, or blatant disrespect, all in the name of family loyalty? How many times have you overlooked or swallowed the bitterness of being mistreated because you felt it was your duty to stay connected? Society is quick to tell us that family is everything and that we should forgive, overlook, and endure anything to preserve that family bond. Even our inner voice echoes this sentiment, whispering that unconditional love means accepting every flaw, every offense, and every harm. But here's the brutal truth. Family bonds should not come at the expense of your mental and emotional well-being. There is nothing unconditional about enduring behavior that continuously damages your spirit. Imagine a scenario that might sound all too familiar. A child who constantly criticizes you, belittles your choices, or dismisses your feelings. A grandchild who only reaches out when they need money or support, showing no genuine interest in your life or well-being. Or even a spouse who, after years of companionship, no longer treats you with kindness, respect, or consideration. These situations can be deeply painful, especially when they come from those who are supposed to be our source of comfort and love. Yet, sometimes, the most compassionate act of love you can show yourself is learning to let go of these toxic relationships, even when they are deeply rooted in your life. As difficult as it may seem, the choice to let go becomes even more important as we grow older. Our mental and emotional health are sacred, and no relationship, no matter how long-standing, should ever undermine that. Aging is not a time to become a silent martyr, swallowing insults, enduring disrespect, or tolerating mistreatment in the name of family loyalty. It is the opposite. This stage of life should be about focusing on serenity and peace, cultivating relationships that genuinely bring you joy, comfort, and companionship, not those that fill you with stress, sadness, resentment, or a sense of unworthiness. Imagine the impact on your life if you were to set clear boundaries that put your well-being first. How freeing would it be to no longer feel the weight of judgment, manipulation, or negativity hanging over you? Picture a life where you are surrounded by people who uplift you, who respect you, and who genuinely bring joy into your days. By setting these boundaries, perhaps the most important boundaries you'll ever set, you open up space for the relationships that truly matter, for the people who truly care about you. At this stage in life, every day is precious. You deserve to spend your time with people who see your worth and value you for who you are, not for what they can get from you. It's time to shatter the myth that family means endless sacrifice, endless tolerance, and endless endurance of hurtful words and behavior. Family can be a beautiful, supportive presence in your life, but only if it's built on mutual respect, love, and kindness. When those elements are missing, it is not only okay but essential to consider stepping back and protecting the peace you've worked so hard to cultivate. Setting boundaries, or even choosing some distance, is not an act of betrayal or selfishness. It is an act of self-preservation, a recognition that your mental and emotional health is sacred. You have the right to a life filled with people who cherish you, not those who make you feel small, unappreciated, or used. Remember, your happiness and well-being are your responsibility. And that's a beautiful truth. No one, not even family, has the right to trap you in a cycle of guilt, manipulation, or toxicity. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to choose to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you. So take a deep breath. Trust in your right to peace, and know that by setting these boundaries, you are creating space for the joy, serenity, and genuine connections you truly deserve. It's never too late to choose a life where you are valued, respected, and at peace. Because that, above all, is the life you were meant to live. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The 4th tip is to stop waiting for others to recognize your sacrifices. Take a moment to truly reflect on all the times you've quietly put others before yourself. Whether it was your children, your partner, your parents, or even your friends, think about all the moments when you sacrificed your well-being, dreams, and time to help others. Perhaps you gave up your aspirations, put aside personal goals, or even let go of things that once held great significance to you. All because you believed, or hoped, that someday they would recognize what you've done. The idea is undeniably beautiful, that one day, the people you've cared for and supported will look at you with understanding, with gratitude. They would see all the sacrifices you've made and thank you, wholeheartedly. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? A moment of recognition where they acknowledge the countless ways you've put their needs before your own. But here's the painful truth. Life doesn't always unfold in the way we hope or expect. The moment of acknowledgement, the long-awaited thank you, might never come. Think about all the times you found yourself silently yearning for that recognition. Those nights spent reflecting on the endless acts of kindness you've shown, the moments when you set your dreams aside for someone else's sake, the time and energy you poured into supporting someone else's happiness and well-being. How many times, after all of this, did you find yourself waiting in vain for someone to express their appreciation? How many times did that gratitude never come, leaving you in a space of emptiness, where you questioned not only the worth of your sacrifices but even the very nature of your relationships? This quiet yearning for acknowledgement can slowly become a heavy burden on your heart. It's a weight that starts small but grows steadily over time, especially as the years pass. And here's the danger. When we expect recognition from others, we hand over a part of our happiness, resting it in the hands of those who may never fully see or appreciate it. We wait for something external to validate our worth, and in doing so, we make our peace with life conditional on their actions or words. When that recognition doesn't come, what replaces it is often disappointment, a quiet ache that over time morphs into something darker, resentment. You might find yourself replaying memories, revisiting the sacrifices you've made, but now with a bitter twist. Those past moments, once filled with love and care, now seem like efforts that went unnoticed and unappreciated. And that bitterness, it can slowly seep into your relationships, causing tension and misunderstandings where once there was closeness and love. The worst part? It might even make you question your kindness, wondering whether all those selfless acts of giving were truly worth it. But here's an empowering truth to hold on to. The value of your sacrifices is never defined by whether or not others recognize them. The love, care, and effort you've put into those sacrifices is a testament to your character, not to the people who may or may not see it. These actions speak volumes about your capacity for compassion, your resilience, and the profound beauty of your giving heart. To move forward, you must learn to release the need for external validation. True peace and happiness come from honoring your sacrifices for what they are, an expression of your heart, your values, and your deep-seated generosity, not because someone else has acknowledged them. Your life, your worth, should be defined by your standards, not by the perceptions of others. As you age, time becomes an even more precious resource. There is profound beauty in living a life that's free from the shackles of needing others' approval. Now, imagine the freedom that comes with knowing that your joy, your contentment, and your peace are not reliant on anyone else's acknowledgement. By choosing to let go of this need, you permit yourself to live more fully, to embrace life unburdened by the expectations or disappointments of others. Letting go doesn't mean that your sacrifices were in vain. Quite the opposite. It means that you loved and gave from a place of pure selflessness, without the expectation of a reward or recognition. This acceptance is a powerful act of self-love. It allows you to hold your head high, secure in the knowledge that your sacrifices were real, your efforts genuine, and your kindness unwavering, regardless of how others may have responded. It affirms your worth, not based on external validation but on the internal truth of your character and your intentions. Now is the time to begin living for yourself. Take pride in the sacrifices you've made, in the love you've given. Not because someone else told you to, but because you understand their value on your terms. Remind yourself daily that your worth doesn't depend on anyone's recognition. It is rooted in the courage, generosity, and kindness within you. This quiet strength, this inner knowing, has always been your most powerful ally, and it has always been more than enough. By choosing to let go of that need for validation, you reclaim your life. You set yourself free to experience every moment with a full heart and an unburdened mind, knowing that you gave, loved, and lived authentically, regardless of how the world may have received it. The fifth tip is to stop using your age as an excuse not to change. This is a truth that can be difficult to accept, and it may stir up feelings of discomfort or even resistance. But often, it's precisely this discomfort that signals how important this message is. How many times have you held yourself back from starting something new? An adventure, a learning experience, a personal transformation, thinking, "I'm too old for that." It's a thought that sneaks in all too easily, like a quiet excuse we use to avoid growth. Whether it's taking up a new hobby, trying to break free from an old, unhealthy habit, shifting the way we think, or even daring to love and be loved in a new, more profound way, age often becomes an invisible wall. We hide behind it, telling ourselves that it's too late to change, that we've passed the window of opportunity. But the real truth is that as long as we are alive, there is still time to evolve, to transform, and to grow. This understanding can be deeply liberating. It opens up a world of possibilities that we might have thought were forever out of reach. There's a common belief in society that after a certain age, growth and personal transformation are out of the question. The idea that our character is set in stone, that our lives are fully formed and there's no room for change, is not just limiting, it's a powerful myth. And unfortunately, it's a myth that holds many of us back, keeping us stuck in lives that are comfortable but unfulfilling. We tell ourselves that after a certain age, it's time to wind down, to settle into the life we've built, and not to aim higher or try something new. But this belief is a thief of joy and potential. It robs us of the chance to fill our lives with new purpose, new meaning, and new experiences. Instead of seeing our later years as a time to stagnate, what if we began to see them as the most fertile ground for transformation? We now have something we didn't have in our younger years: wisdom. Over the years, we've accumulated knowledge, gained a deeper understanding of ourselves, and collected a wealth of experiences that can guide us on new journeys. Think for a moment about the opportunities you might have passed by, simply because you held on to that belief that it was too late. How many dreams did you push aside, thinking they were only for younger, more energetic people? How many passions went unexplored because you assumed that the time for them had passed? Picture the love you could have welcomed, the skills you might have honed, the places you could have visited, all missed, not because they were impossible, but because you told yourself they weren't meant for you anymore. It's a heartbreaking realization, but it's also a motivating one. It's a reminder that the door to new experiences doesn't close because of age. It closes because of the limiting mindset we hold about what's possible for us. Most people overlook one powerful truth: age can be an advantage. With every year, we gain new layers of understanding, a deeper perspective on life, and a wisdom that can only come through experience. We've lived through triumphs, heartbreaks, challenges, and successes. We've learned what resilience looks like, how to practice patience, how to truly empathize with others, and how fleeting time can be. These qualities, resilience, wisdom, and perspective, make us uniquely equipped to navigate change more gracefully and effectively than ever before. So, if you have a dream or desire for change, it doesn't matter if you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond. The only thing holding you back is the belief that it's too late. And while this belief might feel deeply ingrained, it's nothing more than a chain that we have the power to break. Acknowledging this limitation and deciding to overcome it can be incredibly empowering. Instead of allowing age to be a boundary, why not use it as a foundation? Age can serve as a solid base from which you can launch into new adventures and uncharted territories. Yes, it might feel challenging, and yes, it may bring discomfort. Change often does, but think of the courage it took to face all the stages of life that came before. Childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, and middle age. Each phase brought its own set of challenges, but you grew through them. Why should this stage of life be any different? Why let it be any less exciting, less full of discovery and growth? If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Imagine what's possible if you start seeing your age not as a barrier, but as a source of strength. What if every year you've lived could be viewed as another tool in your toolkit, another experience to help you on your path? Every challenge you've faced, every obstacle you've overcome, becomes a stepping stone to even greater wisdom. With this mindset, you can make changes. Whether it's starting a new hobby you've always dreamed of, reinventing your lifestyle, traveling to places you've never been, or pursuing a business or passion project you've put off for years. More than that, change at this stage of life can be profoundly rewarding. The transformation you make now carries a depth and significance that can give your life a whole new dimension. The beauty is that this change isn't to impress anyone else, to meet societal expectations, or to keep up with anyone else's timeline. This change is for you. It's rooted in self-respect, in the wisdom that comes with knowing that every moment, every day, is an opportunity for growth. As long as you're alive, you have the potential to evolve, adapt, and thrive in ways that might surprise even you. It's often said that the biggest limitations we face are not physical, they're mental. The years you've lived are not an indicator of how close you are to the end. They show how much life you've experienced, how much you've learned, and how much you still have to offer. There's incredible beauty in choosing to change at this stage of life because it proves the limitless potential of the human spirit. Our capacity to grow, to adapt, to thrive, is not bound by age. So, instead of seeing age as a finish line, what if you saw it as a launch pad, a starting point for the next chapter of your journey? Take all the wisdom you've gained, and all the lessons you've learned, and use them to propel yourself into a future brimming with possibilities. Let go of the myth that it's too late, and embrace the truth that every moment is an opportunity for transformation. As long as you're breathing, you can evolve, find new joy, and discover new facets of yourself. Embrace this truth, and let the years you've lived be a testament to the incredible journey ahead, not to what you've left behind, but to the vibrant life that is still waiting for you. The sixth tip: don't cling to the past as if it were your only refuge. As we navigate the journey of life, nostalgia often becomes a constant companion, quietly tugging at our hearts. The memories of our younger years, the moments of joy, laughter shared, love felt, and dreams we once dared to chase, often feel more vivid than our present experiences. It's so easy to lose ourselves in the warmth of those memories, to retreat into the comfort of what once was, especially as we age. These memories serve as a reminder of who we were, of the passions we pursued, and of the life we lived. In a way, they offer us a sense of stability and comfort, something familiar in an ever-changing world. Indeed, taking time to reminisce can be a healing process. It's part of cherishing the richness of life and honoring the past that shaped us. But like everything, there is a delicate balance to strike, a line we must be careful not to cross. For when we begin to live more in the past than in the present, we risk becoming prisoners of our memories. Beautiful as they may be, those moments should not define or confine the life we are living now. How often have you found yourself saying, "Back in my day, things were so much better," or "If only I could go back to when I was truly happy"? This type of thinking, alluring and comforting as it is, carries a darker side. It lures us into believing that our best days are behind us, trapping us in an endless cycle of longing, comparison, and regret. It can make it nearly impossible to fully embrace and engage with the present moment, as we are forever chasing the idealized version of the past. The harsh truth is that when we cling too tightly to the past, we close ourselves off from the endless possibilities that lie ahead. The present may not be as perfect as the memories we treasure, and it may not carry the same magic it once did, but it is the only moment we truly have. It is the now that is waiting for us to step into it. Every time we get lost in the what was, instead of embracing the what is, we risk letting precious time slip away. Time that could be spent creating new experiences, cultivating new joys, and embracing life in its ongoing, ever-unfolding form. Dwelling excessively on the past isn't merely a waste of time. It's a barrier that prevents us from fully inhabiting our own lives. Life is finite, and every moment spent yearning for what's already gone is a moment we forfeit in the present. Imagine reaching the end of your life, only to realize how much of it was spent looking backward, rather than moving forward, fully engaging in the beauty and opportunities that the present holds. Life is a series of cycles, each bringing with it its blessings, challenges, and lessons. The experiences of your past had their time and purpose, leaving a lasting imprint on who you are today. But they do not hold the entirety of your existence. Now is a new season, a fresh opportunity to shape new memories, to find joy in places you might never have expected, and to discover meaning in the journey that lies ahead. You are more than the sum of your memories. you are also the person you choose to be in each unfolding moment. The choices you make today, with the time you still have, are the ones that matter most. It's easy to be tempted to relive the golden days, to think of times when life seemed simpler, when happiness seemed guaranteed. But those days played their role in shaping who you are, and they don't need to define your entire story. The true challenge, however, is not in lamenting what is lost, but in finding contentment, meaning, and perhaps even awe in what lies before you. It's natural to feel a pang of sadness when thinking of youth, vitality, and moments that now seem distant. But don't let that nostalgia blind you to the present, the beauty of what still can be. Life, even in its later stages, continues to offer new surprises, new connections, and growth opportunities that are just waiting to be embraced. The choice is yours. Will you live in the present, open to all that it has to offer, or will you stay trapped in the past, longing for what's already gone? Let the past inspire you, let it fill you with gratitude for what it taught you, but don't let it hold you captive. The future is where your growth lies, and the present is the place where you can continue to thrive. By choosing to live in the now, you grant yourself the freedom to grow, to learn, and to love in ways that are possible only in the present moment. There is richness in every stage of life, a unique beauty that can only be discovered if you're open to it. While you may carry your memories with you, don't let them be the lens through which you see the world today. Instead, allow them to serve as a reminder of how far you've come, and of the incredible journey that still awaits. Let go of the belief that your best days are behind you. Choose to believe that the most beautiful and meaningful parts of life are not behind you. They are yet to be lived. Embrace this truth, live for today, and let the light of the present illuminate the path ahead, showing you all the wonderful things that await you. Stress is something that can sometimes help us connect with ourselves, understand our inner needs, and release tension. However, when stress becomes a daily habit or even a compulsion, it often points to a deeper issue, something we're trying to avoid or escape. Perhaps it's a way of sidestepping unresolved emotions, filling a void created by loneliness, or trying to cope with dissatisfaction in certain areas of life. Think about this. What is driving you to turn to this habit so frequently? Many people fall into cycles of behaviors, such as excessive masturbation, not because they bring lasting joy or fulfillment, but because they provide temporary relief from accumulated stress, boredom, or frustration. Yet, as comforting as this may feel in the short term, what starts as a simple release can easily transform into a repetitive habit. Over time, it doesn't lead to true fulfillment or meaning, but rather deepens feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The 7th tip. Think about it. Have you ever paused to ask yourself why you turn to this habit so often? For many people, the cycle of habitual masturbation isn't driven by the promise of lasting joy or true fulfillment. Instead, it can become a response to deeper, underlying emotions, stress, boredom, or frustration. The act can temporarily ease these feelings, providing a quick escape from the weight of the day's pressures. However, while it may bring comfort in the short term, what starts as a simple means of release can quickly evolve into a routine that, instead of enriching one's life, ultimately leads to deeper feelings of emptiness, dissatisfaction, and disconnection. The emotional relief it provides at the moment is fleeting, and what might begin as a way to cope with stress or discomfort can become a habit that lingers longer than intended, undermining a sense of true joy or fulfillment. Over time, this repetitive cycle can take on a life of its own, eroding your capacity to engage in more meaningful forms of pleasure and connection. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that this temporary fix is what's needed, but it's crucial to acknowledge the hidden toll it may take on your emotional and physical well-being in the long run. As we age, we inevitably face the realities of how our daily habits shape our lives, and one of the most important realizations is the necessity of bringing balance and intention into every aspect of our existence, including how we seek pleasure and emotional fulfillment. When masturbation becomes a daily habit, it can begin to drain your energy and cloud your mind, making it more difficult to focus on other important aspects of your life. Moreover, it can create a sense of isolation, as the habit, while seemingly comforting in its routine, may subtly distance you from the relationships and activities that provide lasting joy and meaning. Instead of connecting with others, you might find yourself retreating further into a cycle that leaves you feeling more alone and disconnected from the world around you. If you find yourself turning to this habit frequently or relying on it as a way to cope, it may be time to explore healthier alternatives. Methods of emotional and physical release that are far more nurturing and fulfilling. Imagine the deep satisfaction and rejuvenation that comes from a morning walk, where each step not only engages your body but clears your mind. Consider the escape that a good book offers, transporting you to new worlds and perspectives. Think about how immersing yourself in a creative hobby can provide a sense of accomplishment and joy that comes from crafting something uniquely your own. Or reflect on the comfort of spending time with a friend, having a deep, meaningful conversation that nourishes your soul and strengthens your sense of connection to others. These activities not only provide relief but also fill your life with lasting satisfaction, the kind that comes without the emotional baggage of compulsive behavior. When you engage in these alternatives, you're nurturing your emotional, mental, and physical well-being in ways that masturbation, when it becomes habitual, cannot. This doesn't mean that masturbation is inherently wrong or something to be avoided altogether. It's about understanding that moderation is key. By recognizing when this habit is becoming a crutch or an escape, you open up space for new, healthier ways to engage with yourself and the world around you. Let's be clear, this isn't a condemnation of masturbation or an endorsement of complete abstinence. It's not about creating shame or guilt around a natural human desire, but about finding a balance, an approach where you can enjoy the act in a way that complements, rather than dominates, your life. By reducing its frequency, you might find that your capacity for other kinds of pleasure expands. This can help you rediscover experiences that bring you joy and fulfillment in different, more wholesome ways, allowing you to experience greater contentment in your life. Imagine a life where pleasure is not confined to a single act, but rather is woven throughout every moment. Pleasure can be found in small, everyday activities, savoring the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, enjoying a quiet moment of reflection, or delighting in the laughter of friends. It can also be found in more exciting pursuits, creative endeavors that stretch your imagination, physical activities that engage your body, and social connections that strengthen your bonds with others. Moderation doesn't mean eliminating pleasure. It means allowing for a broader range of experiences that offer deeper, more lasting fulfillment. When you're not trapped in a cycle of compulsion, you may find yourself more present in each moment, more aware of the joys that life has to offer, and more connected to the world around you. Rather than turning to a habitual act as a way of escaping your emotions or seeking relief from stress, it's about finding a way to build a lifestyle that's more integrated and fulfilling. A life where pleasure isn't confined to a single behavior but is an intrinsic part of your daily experiences, whether in your relationships, your creative endeavors, or your personal growth. By embracing moderation, you allow yourself to experience life more fully, with a sense of balance that nurtures your emotional, mental, and physical health. In doing so, you avoid the potential dangers of overindulgence and embrace the possibility of a richer, more meaningful existence. One that doesn't rely on fleeting moments of gratification, but instead fosters a deeper sense of contentment and connection to the people, experiences, and passions that bring lasting joy. Through balance, you unlock a fuller version of yourself, one that is capable of appreciating the simple pleasures of life while also nurturing your emotional and physical needs in healthier, more sustainable ways. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope this video has brought you comfort, encouragement, and a renewed sense of hope. As you reflect on the message, I invite you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, what have you learned so far? What resonates most with your heart? And how can you take one key lesson from today and bring it into your daily life? Whether it's trusting God's plan, embracing divine love, or finding peace amid challenges, share with us what you're committed to practicing moving forward. Your thoughts and insights are valuable, and I would love to hear how this message has inspired you. Please leave a comment below, sharing the one thing you've learned and we'll focus on bringing into practice. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, share it with others who may benefit, and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting content. Together, let's continue to spread positivity, spiritual encouragement, and divine guidance. Thank you for your support. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.